Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 24 of Direwolf20's OmniFactory Let's Play series. So today I'm checking out the vertical digger from Actually Additions mode. Only mining ores, mining everything. Only mining ores, mining everything. Probably want only ores, right? So I'm planting this dude right above where I've been mining gold and iron. Which, like, you know, you can see I've mined a lot of gold and iron, to be fair, right? Like, a lot of gold and iron. I've been doing not a ton of mining between episodes, but, like, there's a lot of mining to do. I mean, you need a lot of resources, let's put it that way, right? Now, am I doing this, like, right at sundown? I kind of am, because I'm a genius. But between episodes, right, I made my phantom boosters, so these weren't bad to make. The only thing I needed that I didn't already have access to was ender pearl plates. I had to make those with a cutting saw. So I made a cutting saw between episodes, really easy to make, MV machine. Blocks of ender pearl turned into 9 ender pearl plates, and I quickly got enough to make the 3 phantom boosters that I need for the ender casings. Cool. And I also made that advanced capacitor bank, which unlocked a whole bunch of quests for me that I knew, you know, I had actually done already, but, you know. But that at least knocks out a few quests. So let's pop home and take a nap, and then try out this phantom booster thing. So as I recall, the way it works is it'll be able to go from, like, wherever it's placed down to bedrock in a certain radius. I don't know off the top of my head what that radius was, but a certain radius nonetheless. And then, boop. Then what it'll do is, if you have the phantom boosters on top, it increases the radius, so it can mine ores in a larger area, which sounds like a good time. So I'm very specifically looking for iron / magnetite and gold right now, but expanding the things area probably wouldn't be the end of the world. And because I've put waypoints around a lot of things, it might actually be really cool to be able to just like I know where my diamonds are, right? Because I waypointed them. So I could go over the overworld and find that waypoint and be like, yo, here's my diamonds. And that'll be pretty nifty, I think, right? Hello, sheep. Bye, sheep. So I'm gonna pop down a storage crate. I don't know if we need item conduits or not. I hope we don't, because I didn't bring any. So you're feeding stuff. You're mining ores. So it looks like he's trying to run. He's running. So how much RF tech does this use? Not a lot. Maybe not until he finds an ore. So he's mining at 60 right now. And I guess he's doing like a big area at Y level 60, and then he moves down to 59. All right, that's fair enough. So we're at 48, or 4.8 million, let's just put it that way. 4.8 million. I'm gonna go grab some item ducts, just in case I need them, and let that thing run. And I should probably chunk load it, because it might be far enough away that it needs chunk loading. I can't tell. It's pretty far away from my base at this point, let's put it that way. So chunk loading might be a necessity. But if this is like a nice, easy, and relatively cheap power-wise, come on, bro, get under the block, way of auto mining, that would be nice for now. There's more crazy stuff we can get to eventually, but this would absolutely be a nicer approach. So item ducts here. I don't know about wireless access to power. So like how to power this thing wirelessly, right? Without running cables all the way over to it, which dire wire to the extreme, right? So I know flux is not in the pack, right? But Ender IO's dimensional transceiver might be in here, so I'm curious what the recipe for that is and if it's been tweaked. So if you lost any power, you have. You've lost a little bit. Cool. And you're getting ores, and you're not putting them in the adjacent inventory. So that shouldn't be too hard to solve. Boop, boop. Hooray! Cool. What's up, zombie? So that should be pretty good. He's not particularly fast, but I mean, like, he does a nice enough job, right? Let's make sure I didn't put them on a chunk boundary like the dope that I usually am. I do that by mistake. It's like statistically difficult to do, but I usually somehow manage to do it. But now we're chunk loading this spot, which is cool. Hooray, chunk loaded. And you'll just mine a whole bunch of ores for me, right? Magnetite, vanadium magnetite, iron ore, gold ore. That should be pretty spiffy. Now, I don't know what the radius is. Let me look up the vertical digger. Actually, it might tell me in here. The Actually Additions book should tell me. Don't you guys usually have like an info tab on you that would tell you? I'm going to let that chill for a little bit. It doesn't seem to be using a ton of power, which is nice. So I can just go grab the battery pack recharge it, and then do whatever. And if I really wanted to get crazy, we could use our battery that we made, our flux capacitor, right? That thing stored like 90 million RF. The capacitor over there is storing 5, right? But if I got a flux capacitor, this guy holds 90 million. So we could totally just charge this guy up with a ton of juice, right? And that would be pretty cool. But we'll hold off on now and just see how that does, right? So is the actually additions book in here anywhere? Because there is a manual for actually additions, isn't there? Could have sworn there was an in-game manual. Otherwise, I got to go Google it. Let's see. All right, according to the wiki, without a booster, it has a radius of 2. A radius of 2, which means it mines in a 5x5 area. And with 1 phantom booster, it's a radius of 4, then 8, then 16. So 3 phantom boosters will be a radius of 33 by 33. Well, an area of 33 by 33. Radius of 16, area 33 by 33. So that's pretty neat. So I'm very excited to have a little bit of automated mining going on, because that means I can get focused on continuing to upgrade all my stuff and automating all the things. Because resources I haven't been hurting, and it's very easy to mine, but I have had to go do that between episodes, you know, every now and then. So you could also set it to mine everything mode, which will just like void out the area. I don't want to do that. I just want it to mine ores only. So that's cool. Was there particle effects on this dude? There might be particle effects. Though I'm not really seeing anything. All right. Back in a minute. I want to let this thing run for a bit and see how it does. Well, Direwolf exploded with the help of a creeper. I popped in just to check on like how stuff was going, because I kind of wanted to like measure exactly how the mining situation was going. Go away. Now, is this the one I gotta... Yeah, it is. Nice. All right, cool. So I can throw you away, right, bro? Cool. So here's where I died. I think we actually harvested up... Believe it or not, it doesn't even look like it, right? But I think we actually did harvest up the ores. If we take a look at where the sunlight's coming in, which is somewhere around wherever I died, to be honest with you, because I broke through the ground and fell right down. One of these spots is where... There it is. So this does like a 2x2 radius. So literally 5 blocks, right? So it didn't get these blocks because that's the radius without a booster. So it's already finished because it has no booster. So I think I'm just going to throw all 3 boosters in so that it can, you know, do some real work. So we pop these dudes on top here. Boop, boop, boop. And then we reset you, and you should start mining again in a larger area of effect, right? Would be my expected behavior. So pretty soon it should start grabbing like this magnetite ore right here. And it shouldn't take too long to get to that. Maybe I'll come back in a sec when it's started. All right, after letting that run for a few minutes, I realized it takes a really long time to run. So what we're gonna do is set it up at a lower Y level so that it just runs a little bit faster. I don't know if you're gonna retain the energy you had in you. The answer is, yeah, you do. Nice. Only mining ores. Let's reset you, and you start at 59 now. Nice. Okay, cool. That's what I want to see. So basically set this back up, because it takes a really long time to mine each Y level when it has such a large amount to do. It's kind of slow. It really is. But that's okay. We'll get her done. So right now he's at 301 on the Z, right? So what's that look like? 301 on the Z. So he's over there-ish. And he's just going like across, right? So he should be coming this way. And that should be cool. Right? So he should be, you can see he's now at 304 on the Z. So he should be coming across this way at Y59. Which I think, the block I'm looking at here is looking at... Where's looking at block? Totally not seeing it, but 58. Okay, cool. So it's 1 Y level above is where it's currently at. Oh boy, water. Water and death. I'm gonna die again. Nobody panic. Wow, that's a lot of bad guys in my giant mining caves. I am totally gonna die again. Run away! I'm gonna survive somehow. Did I survive? I may have survived. Woo! Nobody panic. Just trying to keep an eye on this thing, make sure it works. Is everybody okay? Anybody panicking? Please don't panic. Dyer's fine. Dyer just went and hid inside a corner, that's all. I gotta get my ender equipped is what I gotta do. Man, those snipers, let me tell you. Ah, gravel got me. Alright, so are we running yet here, buddy? I just want to see this thing actually working and know that it's cool. I'm just kind of also curious as to how fast it is. It's not super quick, right? So we want it to get to Y58, realistically. Or 57 even, right? But that would be cool. Yeah, these levels would be 58 right here, right? So, oh look, it just did lasers. Oh look, it's working. It's working. Nice. That's cool. I like how it has a little green laser effect when it's actually mining something. That's super neat. I didn't know it did that. That is cool. I like it. All right, so it's totally working. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that action right there. All right, let's let this run for a few minutes, and I'll collect the ores that it gets, and we'll be right back. Yay, new iron and gold. Booyah. So the miner's working great. Really, it's doing a fine job. It's a little slow, but you know what? For this tech level, I'm okay with that. We just let it run, and we'll come check on it later, and it will probably have a ton of ore in there. And we just move it around as needed to get more and more ore. So I'm 100% on board with how long it's going to probably take to run. And we'll probably get a bunch of resources as it works its way down to bedrock, right? Especially because we have all 3 boosters on there. So with that taken care of, I think our next steps should be to look into some of the more things over here and over here. So this looks like it's important. Doesn't this area look important? And so does probably these slots over here. Like some of this, maybe not as important. The fluid crafting terminals and fluid storage is probably pretty important for us pretty soon. A reinforced upgrade kit would also probably not be amiss as a result of the fact that that would make our magmatic generators just generate more power, which would be awesome. Oh yeah, we were going to take a look and see if there's a dimensional transceiver too. There is, and it looks like the standard recipe. So to be fair, we get ourselves a slice and splice, and we'd be in pretty good shape. That's probably not unattainable for our current tech level, to be fair. Soulbinder doesn't seem to have... Okay, no, well, okay, I lied. There's a little bit of lying installed. Just smidgen of lying. A touch, as it were, of lying is involved there. So tungsten steel plates. Right. So tungsten steel ingots is a vacuum freezer of hot tungsten steel, which is a combination of steel and tungsten, which is hot tungsten, which we can get a blast furnace from tungsten dust, which we can centrifuge from tungsten steel dust, or tungsten carbide dust, or we can electrolyze ourselves some scheelite dust, or some tungstate dust. Everybody clear with that? Everybody aware of what we need to do to get tungsten? All right, so never mind about dimensional transceivers anytime soon. Probably a ways away. That's okay. We'll deal. It's cool. Let's take a look at this thing. So here's something I was looking at. SMD transistors, or surface-mounted device components, are one of the first endgame materials you'll be making. Even the mighty Tier 9 circuits require these components, and huge amounts of them. It's worthwhile to invest in an extremely robust system of automation for these components and all of their ingredients, since you'll never stop needing them. They will also work in place of the handmade components you've been using in all but the simplest of recipes. All SMD components must be produced in at least an MV assembly machine, and they all require liquid polyethylene to start. Start off with the SMD transistor. Cool. So SMD transistors, which we're adding to the list here, it's gonna make me refine circuits, so that's cool. It also makes electronic processors, and so like electronic processors can also use these dudes. So that's cool. Instead of resistors and transistors, you can use SMD resistors, which don't look too bad. It's a little carbon dust and fine electrum wire. And you get 24 of them per craft. So it seems like this is less resource intensive than the previous method, which used, you know, I mean, we got a little bit of this, even with the assemblers, we got 12. But transistors, that's a lot of crafting, right? So being able to make these with SMD transistors, which, by the way, when you make them, you get 32 at a time. And all it is some fine annealed copper and some gallium plate, which I don't know if I found gallium yet, but we'll figure it out, right? Gallium dust, which comes from centrifuged zinc ore, presumably zinc. Centrifuged vanadium gallium dust. Cool. Gallium arsenide dust, or, okay. We'll find this stuff somewhere. We'll find it somewhere, I'm sure. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Do we have any... We do have gallium dust. I don't know where it came from. You know what? Probably from somewhere here. Centrifuged impure pile of zinc dust. Or sphalerite dust. Or bauxite dust. Okay, I'm down with that. We can make gallium pretty easily, right? So we can take bauxite. I mean, we already have a bunch, so I'm not going to worry too much about it right now, but I'm sure we have a ton of bauxite ore, which we can process in our thing downstairs, right? Our macerator. We throw this in here. And eventually we get those impure piles, which I wind up putting in here, and you can see we've been doing just fine. Look how much bauxite dust I'm getting actually as a result of aluminum. Aluminum dust gets us lots of bauxite, which is cool. And we have a ton of aluminum now, which is also cool. Nice. Now here's a funny thing I've noticed, and this is not something I've seen Applied Energistics do in the past. It cleared out the crafting table, but it didn't use all the bits, and I don't know why that's happening. See what's happening there? It's making a bunch. It's making like 20 at a time. But it's not actually using all the tiny piles of dust. That's an interesting thing. And it's always, it seems, making 20 at a time. So I don't know why it stops. It might be a power thing. It might be a power thing. Could be a power thing. Cool. But you can then be electrolyzed into rutile, by the way. Nice. Okay. Cool. All right. Good to know. Good to know. Anyway, back to work, shall we? So what I want to make is SMD transistors, because these look nice. So I think I'm going to teach it the recipe for that. So the recipe for SMD transistors is going to be this, but 2 polyethylene sheets. Okay? Polyethylene. Sorry. Right? And then we want to make sure that this bit on the down has a filter for polyethylene. And this guy on the down also has a blacklisted filter for polyethylene. So polyethylene will never wind up in here. It will wind up in here. Will polyethylene eventually need to wind up somewhere in an assembly machine? Hopefully it does. Okay, cool. Good to know. Well, oh yeah, we need it for capacitors too. So we've already got that going. That's super annoying. Fluid storage might be in the near future for us. It really might be, because we need a lot of these. Have we been crafting those over here? Or have I been crafting them elsewhere? Yeah, I haven't made them here yet, but I will at some point. So we're going to probably, instead of doing what I'm doing there, what we'll probably do is store polyethylene in a tank and have it accessed by Applied Energistics, and then have Applied Energistics put the fluid in during crafting for us. That's what we'll have to work on pretty soon. So what do you say that we take this dude, put him over here, wherever that stuff is. Yeah, this guy, the chest one, right? And then try to make the SMD. Now, it's probably going to complain that it doesn't have annealed copper or gallium plates. We want to teach those, right? So let's get our gallium, just whatever we have. Smelt that up so we can get the plates. Hopefully they're easy enough to make. Is it just a alloy smeltery cutting saw extruder? So it's the extruder one. We don't have one of those guys. So we're probably going to need an extruder whose job is to make the plates, because either that or I could go cutting saw. Because I did put a cutting saw down here already. Remember I said I made that between episodes? So I put it here. I didn't hook it up to an interface, and I don't have it vacuuming items out of the back, right? And it needs water to keep running. So we want to be aware of that. But aside from that, right? So we already have an extruder. That would be this one. But he's got the tiny gear going on. So we need a separate extruder with the plate mold. I'm suspecting we're going to need that at some point. So why don't I make another extruder? Can we do that? I think that's a smart move, right? So let's add an advanced extruder here, and I'm going to craft that off camera. So I think one of my 4K crafting storages is just not going to cut it. Agreed? Probably. So I'm crafting up two more of them. 2 more 4K crafting units. Just so we can craft 3 things at once. Because at this point, it's getting a little tedious. Scheduled, and scheduled. You guys should be cooking. Did I overload this guy? He might be busy. That's the problem. That's fine. What you've done already is sufficient, buddy. I'm gonna go put you away over here. What'd I give it? 2 stacks? So it did a little bit more than 1. Cool. So now you're crafting your electronic circuits. Cool. Neat. So that's 4, 5, and then 6. Boom. The red alloy plates. Should I teach that? I probably should. I should probably teach red alloy plates, right? So let's teach you for the compressor, and then you are an alloy smelter recipe. That's probably your best bet, right? There's no other cheaper recipe. I think that's fine. Right? So, compressor, alloy smeltery. And we're going to need 5 more of them, right? Yeah, we need 5 more of these guys. So that would be 20. Back in a minute. Okay, crafting complete. Booyah. And do we have any more cables? We do have these cables, but I've been using conduits, but I could use those cables when I want to. Nothing says I can't, right? Do I want to move you? I feel like I should move you. What I'll probably want to set up, like this could be my wall of auto crafters eventually. And that'll be that, right? And we can just conduit this up. I guess we've been using conduits. I should stick with that. And that's cool, right? So now we can craft 3 things at a time, and that'll make my life easier for now, because I was about to make everything I need for the advanced extruder. So I need 2 refined circuits, a pump and a piston, and a hull, right? So MV machine hull, a piston, and a pump. Do I not have pump in here yet? Yeah, I might not have pump yet. Yeah, I gotta get... That's the one with lots of annoying steps. Can you be made an assembler? You can. Yeah, I think I'll hold off on adding this, but I'm going to make it all off camera anyway, so. Auto-crafting is such a beautiful thing. Making this auto-crafted and this auto-crafted and these things auto-crafting, like, super glad I rushed patterns, right? Super glad. All right, cool. So we've got another electronic processor up and running. Let's get our 4X cable with energetic alloys, and let's get our item conduits down there. I am rapidly running out of spots over here, to be fair, but we'll be all right for a few minutes at least. And remember, interfaces are not cheap still. So even though I've got 2 on me, I don't need an interface on the advanced cutting machine yet. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to swap these dudes so that the extractor is here and the cutting machine, which is manual use. I'm going to bring the cutting machine upstairs. I don't need to automate that just yet. Right? I may in like 5 minutes, but as of this moment, I do not need to automate that bad boy. So that can be that. And your job will be to make extruder plates, right? And then we need gallium plates. So we want to teach you, gallium, how to make gallium plates, which is going to be the extruder recipe, but we don't actually need that bit. Cool. And gallium should be in here. Cool. And then we can go put this guy on the advanced extractor that doesn't have that dude, right? So now when I want an SM whatever dude, SMD transistor, we're just missing the fine annealed copper, which we'll take care of now, right? Fine annealed copper, right? So that's going to be a wire mill of that, and you're going to be a wire mill of that. And you, I believe, are a blast furnace recipe. So yes, you're copper with oxygen. Now, is there another way we could do this or not really? Not really. So I think the only way to get that is for now, because we haven't set up auto crafting yet with the blast furnace, we'll just need to throw copper and oxygen in there together, right? Which, you know, no big deal. We can do that. So let's get our wire doohickey wire mill. We're going to probably have some more wire mill recipes going on in the future. If one were to be a betting man, which I am, I would bet that we're going to need a lot of that, right? So fine annealed copper is just copper with how much? So we have a few annealed copper at the moment. I just want to know how much oxygen I need. 1 bucket per, right? So over here, we've got 16 oxygen. And how much oxygen is in you, fluid input hatch? Not a lot. So what we're going to do is, boop. Are you, wow, that was quick. Did you get all this? Okay, you did. Good job. You really accepted that oxygen quickly, didn't you? All right, you're going to cook up the fine annealed copper quickly that we need. But now we can get our SMD dude, right? Minus the fine annealed copper, which we aren't auto-crafting yet, but will. Right? And I should start looking into dealing with producing more oxygen, because that electrolytic separator dude downstairs, he's pretty slow. He really is. And I think I'm going to take this plate mold out here. And in fact, I'm going to leave, not you, but you can stay in. But I'm going to set you to not insert again, because I'd like you to start producing a backlog of polyethylene once more. So you're doing okay, right? Are you producing water, or what's your deal, bro? Insert on blue. Extract on blue, always active. Why do I feel like you don't have any water going on here? Why does this look like it's not running? And I'm super confused by that. Electrolyzer. 3 buckets of water. So we need more water, but you're not. Insert on blue. Extract on blue. What's up, dude? Basic electrolyzer. Come on. Don't make me embarrassed by you. So you're what? Extract on purple? So let's do this. Oh, you are low on water. That's your problem. How'd that happen? It's a weird thing to happen, right? I thought that reservoir was, like, not ever going to run out. It's not the extraction bit. It's the lack of water in the reservoir. Glad I checked that. That's weird. So now you're cool, right? Are you extracting water so fast that you're running out? He kind of is, isn't he? Is that your problem, dude? I thought the reservoir was, like, not going to let that happen. I might need to assist with that a little bit. Let's come back in a minute. I'm going to play with this off camera for a sec. So what I'm going to do is this. Maybe that'll be better. What do you guys think? That seems like it's doing a better job. So maybe the vertical reservoir is not a thing that works very well. Right? So we'll keep that in our minds. Vertical reservoir, not a good idea. Okay, cool. So you're all back to working. I might upgrade this to an advanced electrolyzer, by the way, just because he's so stinking slow. He would draw more power that way, but he'd be fine. All right, back to work. So we've got our SMD transistors now, in theory, right? So I should be able to request them. Cool. And that should be an easy craft, right? So it's going to make the gallium plates. They're scheduled, at least, to run. Did I make an extractor instead of an extruder? I super did. Dyer, please. Dire derps abound. What's an extractor even do? I don't know, probably something important. Yeah, it's gonna make rubber pulp. Well, I'm sure I'll need that at some point, but we want an extruder. Advanced extruder. So back in a sec, this shouldn't take long. Electronic piston, medium steel plate, 6 steel. We'll be fine. See? Crisis averted. Problem solved. All fixed. So back down here. Boop. Right? And then you can go in there. I should have noticed with the UI. It just... I was on autopilot. Sometimes you get into autopilot, right? And things just don't work out the way you think they are. Right? But SMD transistors, that looks like it's an autocraft now. And that should be working. Which is super spifferino. Booyah. So it should have worked that it put the polyethylene, or yeah, polyethylene in here, and that fluid extracted its way to there, and now you're extracting. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Bing. Cool. So I guess the other one that we're going to want to get right now is the blue one, right? But SMD diodes, which are fairly simple, right? So let's get those auto-crafting. So it's going to need fine platinum wire and a small pile of gallium dust, right? So for that, we're going to need this recipe and this recipe, right? What's this thing, the extruder? That also gets you 2, so there's no reason to do that, right? I have to check all these recipes, right? Now, the advanced wire mill, we've already run out of interface slots on. So that's a thing, right? That's a thing that we have to be aware of that already happened. How are we going to set this up going forward so that you can have lots of inventories? Like, we could throw a crate down there to process around. That would probably be a smart approach to take. So that the interface, right? So you guys would have to be moved real quick. Cool. And what we'd probably want to do, you're kind of in my way, but also not terrible. Right? Is this probably the best approach to use? I'm just trying to think about like what's going to be good for the long term, because I think other machines are going to run into the same problem, right? Where the wire mill has a lot of things going on. But what we'll probably want to do is have you insert on brown, and you can be extract on brown always active. And then all these patterns are here, along with that one and that one. And then this guy can have that pattern, right? And then we can just connect. Well, oh, well, that was definitely the wrong one to move, but that's okay. We'll pop that dude here and here and here. Now everybody should be good. Not ideal, but I'll have to come up with a good way to do that. So now, if we want the other thing, SMD resistors, that's also going to need 1 polyethylene, right? So let's get that pattern going. That was this one, right? So you are that, but you're going to need 1 polyethylene, right? Update that bit. So now I have to figure out platinum, right? Well, platinum ore is buyable, so that's good news. It's expensive buyable, though. So we're 100% going to want to get ready to scan for that dude next time I go mining. Scanner module for coal ore and pyrolosite. Yeah, I'll do that one. Cool. So now we'll get platinum ore next time we go mining. According to a spreadsheet I have, ilmenitite has it, but I didn't find how to turn that into platinum. Right? Because that's FeTiO3, iron, titanium, and oxygen, right? And so you can be right into platinum. That's cool. So I don't know how ilmenite has it, but is there a better way to process you? I mean, I could double you with pulverization. I probably should really consider doing that. And then I get nickel dust out of it too, which is cool. And then you're going to centrifuge into that and iridium. I might as well, right? Because I'll get bonus. I like that plan. So let's let this cook, and I'll show you guys like how my process works here. Like I throw that in there, right? And then you turn into crushed platinum ore, which should show up in a second or two, right? So we've gotten a lot of crushed. There's quartzite in there, and Certus quartz, and a lot of bauxite, because remember we threw that in there earlier, and there's my platinum ore, right? So you can hit that with a hammer and prevent your need to run it through a macerator, which is even at medium voltage is pretty slow, right? And then we can centrifuge this dude right into platinum dust and tiny iridium dust. So that'll get us our iridium. So interestingly enough, you can even smelt that. You can't usually smelt the impure piles into platinum, but that's cool. And then this guy can be smelted, right? Not terrible. Not terrible. So that's neat. So our basic centrifuge is a little slow. Do I have an advanced centrifuge anywhere? I don't even know if I do. Cutting, precision, laser, distillery, electrolyzer. Nope, no centrifuges. It's all right. We haven't needed this to be fast yet, but I might make it fast at some point. Right? And then we can smelt our platinum. And that'll just get us more, which is always a benefit. Plus we're getting iridium as a nice side effect, so that's cool. All right. So now does that mean I can make my SMD diode? Right. We're just missing a small pile of gallium dust. We have a tiny pile. Small pile of gallium dust. So gallium dust turns into a small pile. That's interesting. Oh, that's my pattern terminal. Hold on. That should do. Cool. And while that's cooking, we know we want the blue one, right? So that's going to be electrum. Yay, we already have it. And carbon dust. Yay, we already have it. And that also needs 1 polyethylene for now. And then you can also go into that chest guy. Cool. And that doesn't require any extra work, right? Carbon dust? Don't you already have that? I thought you already knew how to make carbon dust. Coal dust, we know how to make. Carbon dust. Haha. I can't imagine it's that far from coal dust, right? We can centrifuge wood, dark ashes, charcoal dust, or coal dust. Well, we've needed a centrifuge down there anyway. I don't think we already have a centrifuge downstairs, and it's probably a good idea to set one up. So are you cooking your platinum wire just fine, or what? Because you seem like you're stuck, buddy. And that makes me a little nervous. Wonder if there's sidedness to that. Does it have to go into the top of the thing? So you should have the platinum ingot. Your insert on brown, your extract on brown always active. Do you have to go into the top? So down would be insert on brown, always active. You do have to go into the top. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, not that that's the end of the world, right? That's fine. We'll just note that, so you don't insert there anymore. Okay. We'll de-dire wire that eventually. I think it's probably your best bet. It's probably the best thing I could say to you right now is eventually we'll de-dire wire it. We've got a macerator up here, right? Yeah, we got one. So let's just get ourselves some coal dust manually. And you centrifuge that when you're done, please. Wow. Yeah, that does take a little while to centrifuge, doesn't it? But we'll make a better one and we'll automate it soon, right? I'm still wrapping my head around a lot of how this stuff works, but I think making these will make our lives easier, which is, of course, always kind of nice, right? So, plus we've got iridium, which in packs previous, that's always been like a really precious resource, right? So are you making the SMD diodes now? Let me guess, you need like some other kind of thing or something. So we've got our 144, fine platinum wire, assembler, SMD diodes. Basic assembly should work. There's no circuit. Small pile of gallium dust, fine platinum wire. Oh, we need 2 polyethylene. Okay, let's update this guy. This guy needs 2 polyethylene. I think I noticed that at some point and failed to actually record it on the crafter. Cool. Nice. And then how's our other buddy doing? So you're crafting your SMD diode. Nice. And there's our SMD resistor. Beautiful. So that crafting just takes a few seconds is all. But there it is. And that's a quest complete. Booyah. Double booyah. Cool. Polyvinyl chloride. See, I took my time pronouncing that one. Not terrible. But I think before we go too much deeper, clearly fluids is a major important step for crafting. And that also requires chlorine, which I remember being up here somewhere, right? I think chlorine was around here somewhere. Was that in the beginning? Where is the chlorine quest? Soldering alloy. Do with a void. Chloramine. Okay. Methanol, ammonia, MV chemical reactor. Huh. Just curious what's involved in making chlorine. I'm assuming it's a lot of steps. Electrolyzed salt water will get it for you. Sodium and magnesium make chlorine with a small pile of magnesium dust in a chemical reactor. Magnesium chloride dust, to be fair. I think we'll figure it out eventually. I think that's the law of the world here, right? Unless that's not chlorine here, is it? Oh, it is. This is chlorine. I knew it was on. I knew I saw it somewhere. You can get it from electrolyzing salt, among other sources. Cool. Did I do that thing where I was having so much fun I got wrapped up in my episode and completely blew past the wrapping up point? Yes. This is how much fun Dire's having with this pack. I really am enjoying it. Like, yes, there's a lot of grind. Not even grind. I wouldn't call it grind. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of things you have to do. But it rewards you for setting up automation correctly, and it rewards you for updating your prior automations. So there's a lot of like, I can make this a little bit better. I can make this a little bit better. I can make this a little bit better, and keep doing that. And you're at the end of the day pretty good, right? Come on, guys. Come stand in the fire for me. Thanks. How'd you make out, buddy? So you're mining at Y level 44, and look at all the ores we've got. Yay, vanadium magnetite for days. A bit of magnetite, aluminum bauxite, galena ilmenite, lead and iron and silver and gold. I'm liking it. So we're definitely running into quite a lot of resources right now, which is cool. And he's just going to keep running. And so far he's used a bit of power, but not a terribly large amount. So I'm fine with that, right? So let's do this. Let's wrap up the episode here. We'll come back next time. I'm going to work between episodes on a little bit of automation. And you know what I'm going to do between episodes? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to figure out fluid storage and maybe even craft the fluid storage components that we need. And then next episode, we'll come back and we'll get that going. Because I want to invest in the infrastructure of fluid storage and crafting before we get much deeper. Because we already ran into a problem of polyethylene and all that stuff right here, right? So we need to deal with that. So for now, Dial20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time with more cool, fun stuff. All right, guys, take it easy.